noticed, whenever one lion gets up to walk, not always will it walk past the other pride members without acknowledging them. So in a sense, what I'm saying is, if you pay careful attention, you'll see when lions walk past the pride members, they'll headbutt, they'll play around, and then carry on walking. And in short, that's just a way for them to actually keep strengthening their bond. So there is that hierarchy amongst them. It's not only the males that have the hierarchy, also the females will have that hierarchy, and that goes from the oldest, most experienced female all the way down to the youngest. And there are females that lead the hunt, and it's almost as if every animal or every individual has a particular role when it comes to the hunting within the pride. So they don't just hope to catch something. If you look carefully, you'll see that it's well coordinated, which also means that they do a lot more communicating than we give them credit to. It could also be non-verbally. They can easily communicate using their body language, their postures, when they've seen something, how their body changes, and other lions are able to read through that. So there is a lot behind that I think sometimes is undertold. And sometimes it is just amazing to just watch them, see what they do, how they live through a normal day, besides the other hunting part. Vendra, you're asking if, I believe you're asking, would some lions take shifts just to look out when the other lions are sleeping? I don't want to say they do or they don't, but what I can tell you is that when they are all sleeping like this, they don't really go into that deep sleep. So if something was to come up here, you can see all these lions here have got their heads down. And suppose an elephant was coming or something else was coming. If they all hear it, you'll notice how they all will suddenly lift up their heads just to have a quick look. Because they're sleeping now, so there is no one that's looking out. They rely on their senses of hearing, the senses of smelling these things. And when they have their eyes shut and they can hear something from behind the bushes, they'll just quickly lift up their head just to look, just to make sure that it is not a necessary threat. So there don't have to be one animal that will be up now, wait for the others to sleep, and then when others wake up, that one will take its turn. They actually can all be flat, sleeping all of them at the same time. But should anything come, you'll be surprised how they will all easily pick up on that. Even if only one animal heard it, if that animal quickly lifts up the head, the rest of the pride, because of that animal's movement, might as well lift up their head to have a look at what that animal has heard. Do you see that? How they all quickly just lifted up their heads. They heard something, and they all responded immediately. You can see whatever it is catching their interest. And it could be, I think it's a herd of wildebeest. You see how they seem to be taking a lot of interest now. Earlier on it was just two with their heads up. And now you can see a couple of them are up on their feet. So I think let's wait and see what will unfold. Maybe and it will be interesting because now I can hear from far the hyena audio, And I think in the direction that they're moving in is that exact direction where they heard the wildebeest earlier on. If you guys remember when they all suddenly lifted up their heads. So they're moving in that direction. Regardless, there is that huge herd of impala and wildebeest and zebra that we saw with that beautiful sunset. And that is exactly in the same direction that these lions are moving in. Of course, they might change direction along the way. But for now, that's the direction that they're heading in. As you can see, these ones that are left behind here, our one in the back there looks like to be one of those young males. You can see the mane starting to show. In fact, both of them are young males. And they are very close to our boundary road, so if they keep moving east further, we might lose them and they might cross out of our property. But for now, I think we're going to enjoy them and just stay with them and see where they go. After watching them the whole afternoon while they were lying down, it would be nice to watch them and see when they walk through the bushes. We'll see there's a third, and I think it's also a young male coming to join up with these two. It is a beautiful evening there, Peter, and I, on the other hand, I would love for you to actually come and join us. Of course, it is also nice that we have these lions with us at the moment. Just watching them move around in their natural habitat is amazing. Look at those three young males. Hey Samantha, you're asking why is it that these lions are yawning so much? They've been lying down the whole afternoon, and now they're starting to be active and get up, and they are ready to move about. So remember, lions are active at night and they rest during the whole day, hence they are nocturnal. So it's like when you wake up in the morning and you stretch, and then you yawn, and then you go out, and then you're a bit tipsy. And these lions are yawning, showing signs of them also getting up and being active, because they've been resting the whole day, and now they just want to stretch and yawn, and then get on the move. Even though we can't see for now the rest of the Pride members, I believe that these young males know exactly where the rest of the Pride is. Eventually they'll get up and start moving, and also move in that direction. You can see every now and again they keep turning their heads and looking towards there right there. And that's the direction where those other animals went. You can see these young males haven't moved. Well, the three that we were looking at earlier on have moved and followed on. And when we were about to turn around, and there's still a few more lions that are left here. There's still two more. And I think on the other side of the vehicle, there's also two more lions there just next to the road. You can see the head of that one way in a distance over there, just behind the grass. And if you go there, if you see at the bottom of your screen, there's another one lying down. And I think there's quite a few that are still in this area. So wait, because they're also going to head out to join up. Ian, do male lions roar more than females do? Yes, male lions mostly are the ones that roar a lot more than the females do. But it's also because the males need to constantly announce their presence in their territory. So while they're scent marking and patrolling, roaring also helps because the sound of their voice can help to repel predators. You can imagine if there is a young male lion moving towards that territory and all of a sudden he just hears this huge male roaring. You can imagine how he would get that panic to think that might actually not be the best place to visit. So it also helps to repel or to chase off other predators or to frighten, let me just rather say. So male lions roar a lot more, but females do roar as well sometimes, especially if they are with the males and they start roaring. I've seen it on multiple occasions. So, but the males are the ones that do the roar the most. So we still at least have about 4 lions, if not more, that are still in this place. And you can see on your screen how at this time the color of that lion looks just like the grass or on the plants. But what sticks out is that black at the tip of the ear. So it's one way they also get to see each other at night, especially when it gets dark and they're moving through tall grass, because that black color sticks out and it stands out. It's easier to see it, and that's how they're able to pinpoint the position of the other Pride members. And you'll notice that it's also at the tip of the tail. And when they're walking, they're busy moving the tail and swinging it upwards. And that movement there also helps. Heather, you're asking if it ever gets dangerous with lions being a guide. And I'll tell you 101% yes. And in fact, it gets dangerous with almost every single wild animal out here. And it's good when you're working out here to never let your guard down or get too comfortable, because at the end of the day, these are wild animals. They are untamed or trained animals that we just happen to walk around. So it can be dangerous, but there are warnings and signs and certain behaviors that you just need to look out for in order to be able to avoid any of those situations.